Hello, hello. Okay, so we're probably all getting a bit tired now, given it's the afternoon. So a few questions to start. How many of you know the inside of a Facebook ad account? Like you could create a campaign, maybe not an expert, but we could create a campaign. If you do hands up. Okay, a good amount of you. How many of you either own or work for a company that has or is running Meta ads, Facebook and Instagram ads? The majority of you, cool. How many of you, this is the important one, are in a position where you have the power to decide which Meta ads agency you work with? Okay, everyone else can leave. No, seriously, I've made a career out of giving as good a Facebook ads advice as I can, so I'll try and do the same today. But you who just put your hands up, you have identified yourselves as targets, and there's 5 of my team here. If you try and leave early, you will be tackled, just let you know. Okay, so Meta ads cheat codes. What does that even mean? So I define a Meta ads cheat code to meet that criteria as easy to implement and can realistically double or more your return on ad spend. That's a really high bar. There's loads of things. I give you 100 tips that if you implement might improve 5%, 10%, like turn your phone off, your results, but not many things can double your results, double your return on ad spend. So, and I said this earlier, but that's me in my business. I have lots of other people that work on the small incremental improvements. It's great to have those as part of a team. But my thing is always, can we do things that if we get it right, make everything else unnecessary or much easier? So that's what I'm hopefully going to give you some today. Like I said, lots of things for performance, very few have the potential to double results. So my goal today is give you 1 or 2 things that you might be able to implement that are complete game changers for your business. And that might change someone's entire business. Because I imagine for a lot of you e-commerce businesses, if Meta is a significant avenue of customer generation, if you can double your ROAS, it might allow you to massively scale and completely change your business. So let's see if we can do that. Right, just very quickly, who on earth is this guy? The cringy slide. Now, the reason why I've got this is because before you take anyone's advice, you need to know that they know what they're talking about. So just quickly run through it. Specialist Meta and Google Ads agency for the past 10 years. Feels like a long time. I was the youngest guy in every room when I started. I'm not now. Called Heath Media. We've worked with more than 3,000 clients across hundreds of niches in almost 50 countries at this point, all different sizes of businesses. And we spent more than 150 million on Facebook and Instagram ads. So hopefully that shows I know what I'm talking about. Right, cheat code number 1. This is going to be a little bit similar, but with a slightly different take to what was talked about earlier, and that's influencers. Not in the way that you think. So most influencer marketing focuses on influencers promoting your stuff to their audience. Send them a few products, create some videos, post it to their audience. There's nothing wrong with that. By all means do that. But 48 hours, and honestly 48 hours is being generous, after the post, no one's going to see it again. The nature of all social media, right? Anything posted organically is going to disappear pretty quickly. So the way I like to approach influencers from a Meta ad standpoint is hire influencers to record your video ads for you. And there are a lot of advantages associated with doing that. So firstly, if it works, if the creative performs well for you, it's much longer lasting. Because you have the asset, the creative asset, you can run that as an ad for weeks, months, maybe even years if it continues to perform. Way longer than just an organic post. Often pretty high quality. Most influencers are pretty good on camera. That's how they became influencers in the first place. So when you get an influencer to produce ad creative for you, it's normally going to be pretty good, often better than what a company can produce themselves. And it saves on ad creative costs. So I've recommended this to lots of people, and lots of people have said, oh, I don't have the budget for influencers. I'm going to talk about that in a second. But one of the things you need to do is deduct what you would otherwise be paying, say, a videographer, video editor, something like that, to create your ad creative from the cost. Because if they're going to handle that for you, you no longer need to pay for it. Why is it important? So with Meta advertising, it's interruption advertising, scrolling on Facebook, scrolling on Instagram, you need to stop people from scrolling right past. And if there's someone in the ad that they recognize, they are far more likely, people are far more likely to go, oh, okay, what's this? I'll take a look. Powerful scroll stopper. So in terms of doing this, how would you actually make this happen? Recommendation is to start with the little fish. I'll show you what I mean. So I'll give you an example. This is a client of ours that we worked with. I can't say the name. And the images are stock images opposed to their products, but I can tell you some of the numbers. So a client that sells newborn clothing. That's the industry that they operate in. So we hired a baby niche influencer. which I'm sure some of you are well aware that that's a thing. I would not have been a few years ago, but I have a 3-year-old and a 5-month-old, and my wife follows all of them, and I hear about them all the time. So we hired a baby niche influencer, had about 175,000 followers on Instagram at the time, so not a mega star. Often when you talk about hiring influencers to create meta ad creative, people think you need to go hire a Kardashian. You don't. You can find people that have smaller followings and only known in that specific niche. Like I said, not a big celebrity. So we sent this person, she, unsurprisingly, a handful of products. She recorded 2 product review videos. The cost was $800. That was it. I think we got a good deal, but just a little bit of maybe mindset shift and bad belief shattering here. If someone has 175,000 followers on Instagram in the baby niche, they probably don't make tons of money from that. They are doing product endorsements. So because of that, the cost to buy their labor, in this case, producing ad creative, is relatively low. So it cost $800. Result, 263% improvement in return on ad spend. Like, that is huge. I imagine there's at least one person in this room that if they had a 263% improvement in their return on ad spend from what they're currently doing, if they're not using influencers in their ad creative, that might completely change their business, might completely change their life. That allowed us to scale the campaigns from this is a US-based client, from $15,000 a month to $65,000 a month and acquire a lot more customers. Okay, cheat code number 2. Don't be shy, use sales. So this is pretty simple, but often we all need someone like me to come up on stage and say, just do the simple thing. In my experience, a lot of meta advertisers don't use sales enough. Time-based sales, that's the key here. Time-based sales, a sale that is going to expire at some point, creates urgency, and urgency creates action, stops people going on to the next thing or forgetting to actually do it. I think a lot of marketers feel that time-based sales are sort of beneath them, that's a bit tacky, it's a bit cheap. In my opinion, that's a costly belief. Basically, get over yourself and do it. So just to demonstrate how effective time-based sales could be, I sell marketing services and coaching to marketers. So the most jaded audience you could imagine when it comes to sales and marketing tactics. Like, these guys have seen it all before, they know it all, and even when I run time-based sales, they work, even to that audience. So if you're an e-commerce business, you can absolutely do it and see a lot from it. Don't just wait for Black Friday and Christmas. You can get a lot more creative. So in preparing these slides, I just gave a quick Google, I had no idea. Apparently the 27th of May is International Marketing Day. Someone's obviously just made it up, probably a load of nonsense, but we could run an International Marketing Day sale for our services, and that would somewhat make sense to our audience because there's a thing there. And whatever industry niche you're in, you can probably do something similar. Find a reason to make a sale. So lots of my clients, they've got a time-based sale running basically all the time. You just need to mix it up. So it's not going to be the same 30% off sale all the time. You can have 30% off for one sale. Next time it's buy 2, get 1 free. Next time it's when you buy one of these, you get one of these included. Lots of different options. Okay, pretty simple one. Cheat code number 3, play the long game. So I've got some bad news for you, unfortunately. Meta ads, along with any other form of profitable advertising, is going to get more and more expensive over time, as much as we might wish it wasn't going to. So if you look at CPM, so CPM, for those you don't know, is cost per 1,000 impressions. It's like the standard metric that's used to determine how expensive meta ads are. So CPMs for Q4 2024 were 21% higher than for Q4 2023. That was a reasonably large jump, but we have seen things like that in the past. We will see them again. What will happen to your return on ad spend if that continues to happen? If you're one of these businesses running meta ads and you're operating at a 3x ROAS and break even is 2.5, there's only so many of those you can handle before meta ads are not profitable for you. Right, what's the solution? Take a longer term approach. And this is going to sound simplistic, I'm deadly serious. So if you measure your ad costs against customer LTV, so the lifetime value of a customer, as opposed to AOV, average order value, that initial order, that changes everything. And then, of course, you want to obsess over increasing your LTV, some of which we've already heard today. So I'll give you an example. So McDonald's AOV, so their average order value, someone goes into McDonald's and buys a burger or chips or whatever, is $9. So really small average order value. What would be the acceptable cost to acquire this sale? Like, imagine you're talking to your team and you're like, right, okay, each time we make a sale, we get $9 in. We get $9 in. What would you be willing to pay to get that $9 sale? $3? Maybe less? 3x ROAS? But McDonald's customer LTV, the lifetime value of a McDonald's customer is 5,000 plus, and they have a cohort of people that are like super keen McDonald's customers that are worth more than 50,000 over their lifetime. What would be your acceptable cost to acquire this customer? Very different thing, right? Acquiring a customer worth $5,000. So let's say you're only willing to spend $3 to get a $9 sale. Would you be willing to spend $30, $300 to get a $5,000 customer? Probably. So you can now afford to spend 100 times as much as someone else who is able to turn an initial purchase into many purchases over the long run. McDonald's is an extreme example, but the logic still holds here. If you're in an industry where your repeat order rate, this particularly applies to e-commerce businesses, is pretty poor, if you can double that and double your customer LTV, you can spend maybe as much as twice as much to acquire customers. And if you're worried about increasing costs, well, if you just doubled your acceptable cost to acquire a customer, that makes things a lot easier for a lot longer. So there are lots of things you can do to increase customer LTV, customer service, obviously being one of them. My favorite is a surprise gift. And I imagine some of you are going to wince about this one, but I'll explain it anyway. So what I mean by the surprise gift. So 30 days or so after someone places an initial order with you, why not send them a gift, something that's closely related to their previous order, for free? Has to be a standalone delivery. These can't be something you just pop in the parcel they've already ordered, we've sent you a free thing. No, out of the blue, 30 days or so, send them something for free. I know there's a cost associated with this, but let me run through it. So I've recommended this to hundreds of businesses as a tactic. Very few have actually implemented it, probably for the same reason that some of you are right now going, there's no way, we could never do that, I could never get my boss to agree to that, because it costs, right? It costs money to do that. The few that have actually done that have seen incredible results. I've seen some businesses have absolutely incredible results with this. So what do you think happens when you do something like that? Acquire new customers, relatively new relationship between you, the business, the brand, and your customers, and you go ahead and send them something for free that's closely related to what they've already ordered. You know they want it. Obviously, send them the less expensive things. Well, you're likely to see massive increases in organic social activity. People are so surprised and happy that they're going to tell other people about it, going to share it, going to thank you online. And then along with that, less tangible is brand goodwill. But what we see is that when we continue to run ads, the cost per conversion falls, improving return on ad spend. Because you're far more likely to pay attention to an ad from a company that just sent you a free thing. And you're more likely to buy, you're going to have that somewhat indebtedness feeling, you're going to tell friends, family, you'll never believe what this company did if done well. Okay, cheat code number 4, specific positioning. So you've all heard niche down as a tactic for success. When it comes to Facebook and Instagram ads, to meta ads, hyper-specific targeting, not really possible anymore. So saying, I'm going to construct my campaign so that I'm only targeting the 20,000 people that are really, really interested in this thing that I have to offer. Even if you could do it within the ad account, which is very difficult now because there's so many expansion options that are automatically turned on, it's certainly not recommended. You're unlikely to get your best results by doing that. But you can achieve that specificity of reaching the 20,000, for example, could be more, could be less, who really into your stuff. You can do it through your messaging. So let me give you an example of this. Okay, so let's say your business selling fitness apparel, right? And what I'm going to recommend you at least test is that you create separate ads for each use case. Now, this might be multiple ads per product. So let me give you a specific example. So let's say you're selling running shorts. Now, instead of just in your ad copy, in your ad creative, talking about them as running shorts, you could have an ad for marathon running shorts, another ad for winter running shorts, another ad for cross-country running shorts. All those ads could be for the same product, but the positioning makes all the difference when those ads are actually put in front of people. Because if you identify as a person as a marathon runner, marathon running shorts are more likely to grab your attention, therefore you're more likely to click, therefore you're more likely to buy, than just running shorts, because it is more specific to you. Same applies to the other examples. Now, this is time consuming. Might mean you need to make 40 ads instead of 4. If you do it well, it will be worth it. Why is this important? Well, I kind of explained a little bit already, but let me give you an example. So that image is a Starbucks order. Like, that's one drink. I didn't even realize until I was reviewing the slides, I just copied this from some article online, that it's got final boss written on the bottom, which I thought was pretty good. So everything so special have unique requirements. Whether or not that's true, that's what people believe. Oh, actually, that's also the fault of marketers, why people believe that over the last however many decades. We can tap into that as advertisers. We can take advantage of that. People are far more likely to buy if they believe your product or service, and believe is an important word in there, is perfect for their needs. Oh, great. My running shorts aren't quite right. Maybe it's because I've got regular running shorts and I'm actually a marathon runner and I needed special marathon running shorts, and then everything will be fine. Great. Marathon running shorts, click, buy. Okay, so cheat code number 5, and again, I'm serious about this one. Hire my agency to run your meta ads for you. Why do that? I said at the beginning, spent more than 150 million. That's a very conservative number. I always like any number claims I give to be like absolutely bulletproof. I haven't got the numbers for the last few months, but Q4 we're spending more than 10 million a month. Averaged over 4x ROAS. Again, that's conservative. Over those ad accounts and that ad spend generated more than 600 million in revenue for our clients. And like I said, clients all around the world, all sorts of niches, and a lot of e-commerce. We work with all types of businesses, but about 60% of our clients are e-commerce. So I am the only Meta megaphone partner in the UK, which is because of my personal brand. I have special access with Meta. They give me access to things early. I'll be talking about, I'm in a panel in a minute, I'll be talking about one of those things there. And yeah, special access so that if things go wrong with ad accounts, which if you've been running Facebook and Instagram ads, you will know that is absolutely the case. We're able to get that resolved with an email, which is a big advantage. And we're an agency partner. Lots of agencies will tell you that they're agency partners. There's different levels to that game. We're in the top level. There's only 50 in the UK. And of those 50, we actually have the most number of clients. When we signed up, the person from Meta was surprised that that was the case. And that leads me to make the somewhat bold claim, but I would honestly stand by it, that I've got the best Meta ads agency in the UK. I pitch my team against any in the UK and be surprised it didn't come out on top. Honestly, I'd pitch my guys against any Meta ads agency in the world and be surprised if they didn't come out on top, which I know is punchy, but there we go. For those of you that run Meta ads for a company you work for and think, well, there's no way I'm ever going to hire you guys because that's my job, we also have a mentorship program where we can train you and show you exactly how we do what we do, how we can get you the best results possible. And so there is that option as well, if that is your scenario and you wouldn't want to hire us and replace yourself in that role. So yeah, come have a chat, and hopefully that's been useful. Hopefully you got a few takeaways there. I'm staying on stage now, but thank you very much. Thanks, guys.